If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
It's high noon up and down the Wasatch Front, and Scotty and the coach are just getting started.
And joining us from the San Jose Mercury News, once again, it is John Wilner.
I don't know how you can look at Utah and not at least wonder about the change of coaches. You knew what to expect for 20 years. You knew the culture, you knew the style, you knew what the off seasons were going to look like. Morgan Scalley was a terrific defensive coordinator. Sometimes great coordinators are average head coaches. It's a question mark that has not existed for the program since Whittingham replaced Meyer. So that, to me, is where everything starts.
This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to Scotty G and the coach here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Jake Hatch sitting in for Scotty. And Timmy, when I was finishing up DJ and PK, I was obviously back in the studio. And did they already bring up what the theme was today, by the way, music-wise for you? No. I was told it was called, they were going with what they're calling Dad Rock today.
Well, I feel like because we're doing a golf segment,
I know we got
that they came in with a little more, something soft so it wouldn't disturb the golfers.
Maybe so. Well, let's get a check in on the PGA Championship with Bob Casper.
The PGA Championship update is presented by Copper Rock, where the pros play on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Joined by Bob Casper from Real Golf Radio. Bob, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. Now, PGA Championship, conditions have been a little cooler. I've seen some guys out there with sweatshirts. I saw Colin Morikawa was wearing like one of those neck gaiters. But you were mentioning this earlier to DJ and PK. The weather's supposed to clear up and warm up over the weekend. How much different is the course going to play yesterday and today versus what it'll be on the weekend, in your opinion?
Well, the weekend, of course, is because the weather's going to be about 80 in 80s with sun. It's going to be difficult because the golf course is going to dry out. The golf course is as difficult as it is right now, especially with the wind. But with the temperatures going up, the golf course will dry out even more in the fairways and on the greens, and it's going to make it extremely difficult.
Scotty Scheffler is a member of team coach this week, and he had a great day yesterday. A couple bugaboos today, but looks like he's about to wrap up his round. What did you see from Scotty today?
Well, he got out in the worst of it today. A lot of those guys that played early in the morning, they had the cool weather, but then they also had about 12 to 14, 15 mile an hour winds, which made it really, really tough. So Scotty bogeyed like 3 out of his first 4 holes. And then he righted the ship and made some birdies to get back to 1 under par, and then made a bogey. But he's on the 9th hole right now and has a really good chance to get in the clubhouse at 2 under.
All right, so Bob, looking at the leaderboard, is it Aldrich Potgieter? Is that how you say his last name? Is that correct?
Yep, Potgieter. Yep,
yeah.
He's from South Africa.
Yeah, South African. He's at 4 under, but then you've got, 6 guys. It looks like 7 guys at 3 under.
Yep.
It's a stacked leaderboard right now, and there's really been no separation so far.
No, just because there's so many guys that have to make pars, and par is such a great score. It's easy to make bogeys. I saw Matthew Fitzpatrick this morning 4 putt the 14th hole, which is a par 3, to make a double bogey.
Yikes.
And so it's just really, really tough. But, the score of the day so far is Chris Gotterup. He shot 65 in the morning half of the round. Said he got very, very fortunate. Birdied the last 3 holes today this afternoon in the calmer weather, and got to 3 under par. And he began the day at 2 over. So, yeah, it's just, the guys in the afternoon have it a little bit better because the winds are not as much. And it's going to be interesting to see what the cut gets to, and also who's leading after the first round or the second round.
When you talk about the course drying out, I've been watching the greens. They're massive and so much up and down in them as well. And like you said, you can get to the green and 3 or 4 putt easily, which I've seen guys do.
Yep.
With it drying out, that'll just make things that much more difficult, correct?
Yeah. The PGA of America has really worked on keeping this golf course from getting away from them as far as these guys lighting it up and shooting way under par. And the way they've done that, and the way they will do that this week, is with the greens and where they put the pins placements, and what happens with if the greens get crispy and firm and hard, all those things. That's the protection of this golf course. Earlier in the week, they were saying, 15 to 20 under par is going to win the golf tournament. Well, I don't think it's going to get that low. It's maybe going to get to 10. And the way they're going to do that is by the greens, and that's the defense of this golf course.
Yeah, so Bob, this golf course, it has hosted a PGA before. It's had some other tour events on it, but it's not a frequent visit for a lot of these players. Is that playing anything into this, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's a course that not a lot of guys have played, especially in the last 8 years. Yeah. 2018 was the last time it was played here, and it was the BMW Championship on the PGA Tour, which Keegan Bradley won. Then prior to that, it was 2010, and Justin Rose won an event. That was a PGA Tour event there. But then, the last time a major championship has been played was the PGA Championship in 1962 when Gary Player won. So it's been 64 years before since they played a major championship here. And it's just, there's not a lot of familiarity with it. These guys, they play a lot of the same golf courses year after year after year, and they know which golf courses are best for them. When you get in a major, that's a unique one that hasn't had a major on it for a long, long time. It's tough for these guys.
I love some of the names hovering around the top. Kind of sets up for an exciting weekend. A guy like Jason Day's -3.
Yep.
Cam Young, who's just been hot as a pistol's put himself in a great spot at -2.
He eagled the last hole.
He eagled the last hole?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
And then and another member of team coach, Justin Thomas. So I picked pretty good this week, man.
Yeah, two of your 3 are former PGA Championship winners.
Justin
I
did
Thomas
my research, Bob.
Twice.
Come on, man. I'm an old coach, dog. I'm going to do my research.
You're the coach. Exactly. And then, like you said, Cameron Young has played some phenomenal golf this year, and this golf course sets up really, really well for him.
But I guess Xander and Scotty are looming too. So I'm excited to sit and watch golf this weekend, Jake.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because the cream rises to the top the further you go. So it's going to be good.
Bob, there's a lot of talk out there about the future look of what the PGA Tour schedule looks like. There has been some who have called for the PGA Championship to go back to being played in August as the final of the majors. Where do you stand on that?
Well, the PGA Tour is going to condense a little bit. There's going to be more signature events, but the fields in those signature events are going to go from 80 to 120. It's going to give guys more opportunities to play, which is great. Now, as far as moving the PGA Championship back to August, there's players that are for it and players that don't really care. Rory McIlroy was saying earlier in the week that he would have liked it to been in August this year or the past 2 years because it gives him a little bit more time between the year's first major and the U.S. Open. Right, as it sits right now, you've got the Players' Championship in March, the Masters in April, the PGA in May, then the U.S. Open in July or June, excuse me, and then the Open Championship in July. So you've got these 5 months with a big major tournament in between, and then the PGA Tour starts stacking signature events in there too, and they want everybody to play, and these guys don't want to play that much. They want to be able to rest and breathe, and Scotty Scheffler played 2 of those 3 signature events, and then took a week off last week. Rory McIlroy played last week, but didn't play the ones prior. But here you are. You get to a major championship, and everybody's had adequate rest and everything. Scotty Scheffler just made birdie at number 9 to get back to 2 under par and shoot even par. I was saying,
Scotty.
Or shoot 1 over par, excuse me. But I was saying if he could get back to even after that bad start for the day, then that would be pretty good. Well, he shot 1 over par, but he's at -2 now.
Is it Garrett Higgo's job to get to the tee box 10 minutes early?
100%.
I mean, give me some
100%.
thoughts on that. This has got to be because Lloyd got really irritated by this, and I would assume you probably did too. Like, be there on
I
time,
did
right,
not.
Garrett?
You got to be on time. You got to be on time, and 1 second late is not on time. PGA Tour is strict with their. If you're late, it's a 2-shot penalty. I'm sorry. He's on the putting green at when his time's supposed to start. He's not supposed to be on the putting green. He's supposed to be on the first tee, and most guys get to the first tee 5 minutes before. That way they can get their pin sheets, they can get their tees, everything that they need to get themselves ready. And he's standing over on the putting green putting. So his caddy was on the tee. His caddy was yelling for him to hurry up and get over there.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't make it. He was a minute late, and he got a 2-shot penalty.
I have a couple of friends that I'm going to start instituting this. It's a great idea because I have a couple buddies, like it's that deal where you're calling your name in like a minute and they're not there yet.
They're pulling their shoes on and running over to
and
the
then you
tee
see
box.
like smoke out on the main road, and you're like, oh, here they come. So I'm gonna implement that in the LaComb scrambles.
Yeah, 2-shot penalty, baby.
Yep. Thank you, Bob. You pay off every time you come on, dude.
Bob, before we let you go, is there a player that we already talked about? There's a lot of big names kind of hovering around the top of the scoreboard. Is there 1 or 2 guys that you've got a particular eye on, thinking, "Hey, this guy, watch out for"?
Well, I think after today's round, I think you got to look at Chris Gotterup.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that he played in the Scottish Open last year, played in the final round with Rory McIlroy, and beat him. Then he went to the Open Championship the next week and finished 4th. And here we are. He's won twice this year already. He won it in Hawaii, and he also won in Phoenix. And now here he is in a major championship. He's at 3 under par after 2 rounds, and he's got the weekend to play. He bombs it off the tee, which he can carry all the bunkers and everything. And so I just with his playing ability, doesn't seem like he's afraid to get in the mix of everything. I think he's a guy that you have to look at. But then again, you got to look at Scotty. This is a perfect golf course for him. And there's a couple of other guys that are up there in the mix as well. Jason Day, as you said, Justin Thomas. Those guys have all been in the mix and have all won major championships. So I think this is going to be one where the elite guys, the guys that have won majors before, are going to be in the mix and have a chance to win.
Bob, are we going to find you wearing some of those Malbon fits that we see Jason Day wearing one of these days?
Oh man, that Malbon stuff's too rough for me.
No,
it's
dude,
too
you don't
loose
do
and
that
baggy.
stuff.
No.
Hey,
Not
Bob is every man, right, Bob? It's like the rest of us. Every man.
I got to give Malbon credit. They have made a name for themselves, and
they have.
They stand out. There's no doubt about that.
Yep, no doubt.
Bob, thank you for taking the time. We obviously will be catching up with you once things wrap up, coming up early next week on Monday. But, yeah, It should be a really, really fun weekend out there in Pennsylvania.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. You take care, guys.
Hey, when you get back, let's go hit a bucket.
Okay.
All right.
We can do
I
it.
need a lesson. Thanks,
Okay.
Bob.
There you go.
Take care.
Bob Casper, big thank you to him for taking the time. He and Brian have been absolutely awesome all season long. And they just they continue to kill it. The thing I love about what is going on with the tournament is that they, on Saturday mornings, do you listen to Real Golf Radio?
You're darn right I do, and I listen to the Saturday show.
The caddy who joins them is my favorite part of that entire show, because the insight, you don't find that anywhere
No, you
else.
don't. You got to get somebody who can get it through a door you can.
Correct, yeah. So big thank you to Bob and Brian. Of course, all of their coverage brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, Mountain Land Supply, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Uinta Golf. All right, coming up next, got a little surprise for you. Boler's supposed to stop by the way. That's not a surprise.
Oh, really?
We got another surprise coming up next.
Oh, no.
And that involves our boy Timmy. And we'll get to that next right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to Scotty G and the Coach here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. That is Tim LaComb, the coach. I am Jake Hatch, sitting in for Scotty. I do want to remind you guys, we are live today on location at the Southtown Auto Mall. We're at Tim Dahle Mazda, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. We'd love for you guys to stop on by. Their Memorial Day sale starts this weekend. They're getting an early jump on it, Timmy. They've got incredible deals, and the interesting part is up to $7,000 off a plug-in hybrid. And if you know anything about Mazdas, they've got some of the top-end models when it comes to, they call them PHEVs.
Yeah, and last time I was here, Jake talked about how Mazda's approach has been to put a ton of money into R&D.
Yes.
And so if you look inside these vehicles, you come and see the tech that's in them, the finishes on these cars, the trims, everything looks so good. So it's worth your while to come on down to Tim Dahle Mazda and see us today. Whoa.
All right, here we go. So
and look who's here to bring
Jen Tanner, bring this over here. Got Bowler here as well.
Bowler, did you cook that? I mean, how in the world? Get
let's get
a headset.
Bowler, you toss this one on. We're going to have some fun here.
I had no idea you were culinary. I mean, I knew you could cook out there on the mic, but, not like this.
In my spare time,
we got Bowler up, guys.
In my spare time, of course, I can look at the icing I did. I mean, It's just, the confetti little. I mean,
you went overboard.
I outdid myself.
Yeah,
I guess I'll blow.
We are
up.
Hey, hold on. We got to do the traditional here. So
here we go.
Timmy, this is your expertise, but we're gonna start going. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, dear Timmy.
To you.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, many more.
I have to say, that is as good a song as I've had sung to me by strangers in my life.
Yeah. No, look at this group.
You guys are
it's
awesome.
Incredible.
Hey, and the staff down here, that's another reason to come. The staff here is second to none. They'll take care of you. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right,
Okay,
Timmy,
I'm
will you do the honors for us?
I've got a quicker song. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Hey,
That's
I like
so much
this.
better.
that's done.
I like this, Bowler.
There have been more wax on these things.
All right, let's see this, Timmy. Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
There we go. Well done.
Wow. Well done on the last two.
Only because I've been non-smoker all these years.
Yeah,
I just
uh-huh.
have great
That
lung
lung
power.
capacity is elite.
I can imagine.
Well, Bowler, thanks for coming on down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for baking the cake. Obviously.
Yeah, I brought it down early, and they were able to continue to ice it.
Make sure they all get
and-
some of that.
Yeah. great. And then the candles, I forgot the candles. I wasn't sure the age.
Well, it's up there, buddy, and we're not going to even talk about it. But let's talk about you for a minute. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for the invite.
A little surgery this off season. You're doing good from that?
Doing well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock your shoulder around.
I was going to say, it was your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Old
How
football
was the
stuff.
therapy, Bowler?
Thanks. Hey, how you doing, pal?
Did you do wall crawls?
You do the old wall crawls?
I haven't gotten to that level yet, but I did curls today.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah, so I just got out of rehab and decided to come over and hang out and celebrate your birthday.
Dude, there's so much to talk about, too. How we got to talk about where were you when this all came down, the Jazz got the number 2 pick?
In my office.
And just were you like, oh.
It was the same spot of a year ago when Ace, was the 5. And, I thought, wow, 17 wins, and that's it. And then Dallas at 1.8% gets the number 1 and Cooper. But you know what? If you want to stay positive, all things for a reason, and Ace is an ace.
He's a gem, dude.
I think he's going to turn out to be just a terrific addition. It's youth on parade with a few mixed veterans that are proven, and we go from there. And then, of course, you wait to see what the number 2 the number 2 pick brings.
Yeah, we're going to get into all that because I want to get your thoughts. So there's 4 guys being talked about, and we've all looked into them a little bit. A lot more to do, and I think the teams have a lot more investigation to do as well.
I the only thing I was disappointed about, Bowler, there's not a video of you screeching and hooting and hollering like we saw with David Locke.
Oh, was he?
Did you see this video?
Bowler's just a little less out there.
I know.
You know what? When I sit in front of him for 7 months on a plane and in the booth alongside whatever arena we're in.
I'm sure he's
it's
quiet.
a heavy dose of D-Lock.
Pretty quiet on the plane.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Not like
as he's tapping your shoulder.
When he discovers
did you know what I found out? Gosh, Bowler, look at this number. And then he and Booner, they sit back and look at game film, and we kind of chat about that. But sometimes you just have to go. Ugh.
What does Thurl do? Just give him the
Thurl puts on headphones and watches his son play hoop.
There you go.
Okay.
Overseas or watches film in that regard too.
That's awesome.
Or I just sit and work. I'd say the plane is really a second office.
Yeah.
As is a hotel room, because you're just on a back-to-back, man. You're just prepping on the plane the best you can.
When it comes to the NBA lifestyle and broadcasters, I don't know if people realize this. You guys are with the team as much as anybody because you're on the plane with them. You're in the hotels with them. I've talked to David about this because I interned for him all those years ago. It is nonstop when you guys are on the road.
It's crazy world. I'm not going to lie. It's fun, but it's crazy, and you have to pace yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
Or it can drive you crazy. The walls is, it's true. Big T had mentioned this when he played. I remember him saying the walls can kind of come in on you a little bit. Hotel rooms, you stay in nice places, but it's still a hotel room, and it's just you just got to walk away sometimes. And we try to do, experiment with different restaurants.
Sure.
That's kind of a hobby, on the road, just to see. Sometimes we find just a hole in the wall like Matt's in Minneapolis that serves the Juicy Lucy hamburger.
Okay.
It's a cinder block. You got Gus's Fried Chicken in Memphis. If you go there, it's a must stop.
You got to go get the cheesesteaks in Philly, right?
Yeah. It's
Pat's.
It's the fancy stuff. Okay, once in a while, but you're looking for the hometown. Like, what's the best?
What makes it tick here?
Yeah. What is the groove, and why is there a line outside this really small cinder block, restaurant? Because it's good. It's good.
Along those lines, you have a unique vantage point, and we've talked to the radio guys from North Carolina this week and Kansas. We talked to BYU's guy because we're going to try to look at this thing from all angles on all these guys, right? Yeah, and that's what the teams are going to do. And I will imagine there'll be all these guys have been given glowing reports, but behind closed doors and, when you really ask questions, you get answers. I'm just curious the difference in terms of how it felt chemistry cohesion-wise last year and this year. And, in terms of – because they made some pretty measured acquisitions for veterans that they really wanted here, Kevin Love being one.
Right.
Nurk being one.
Yes.
But just how you felt like the difference, and not that one was bad or good, but just the difference in the cohesion from your vantage point.
Well, the league is getting younger, with draft picks,
Yeah.
18 and 19 and 20-year-olds. One and out is basically what it is. And so the veterans, I think, like K-Love, who has been open about his angst and anxiety, which I praise him for.
Me too.
I think it's all of us have stories or know people or have gone through similar situations. But for an NBA player with his success to actually step back and say, hey, look, let's talk, I think it speaks volumes for who he is. And as the younger players come in, that transition is even more difficult. And from what I see from, I always say, my chair. And I think it just helps the transition. And as we go into this draft, I think it's important, too, guys, that you see the Jazz take time to interview the individual and get to know them and what makes them tick. And the Jazz, I think, have been really strong in that category of, helping players make the transition. I think Keontae, to his credit, decided to take it a little further and just decided to, shed some of what was Keontae and maybe some, anger that went with it. And he comes back and wants to be the best of the best. And sometimes you have to take a layer off to grow. And I think Key, to his credit, man, congrats. I think he's a happier, more focused, NBA player. It's not an easy world to live in. And, I watch him. And you know what? You're making $8-10 million and you're 19 and you have to be careful. And also, who do you surround yourself with? And I think the Jazz do a good job at trying to help the player make that transition.
Yeah, to me, just from the end of the year, particularly seeing guys who were not playing, they were there. They had, they were a part of the team, but they weren't playing.
They did a great job.
They got a technical foul one night.
Yeah.
So over the course of a rebuild, they did a great job at accomplishing a lot of development milestones. They obviously changed the roster dramatically with the Jaren Jackson trade, and I would say with the development of their guys. I mean, they're a different team with Keontae George of this year and Keontae George of the years prior.
Huge leap. And you're right about the players the Jazz were open in this last half of the season. We knew what was happening. We've talked about the fact that reps, like in the weight room, make you stronger. Well, minutes in the NBA are only going to make you a better player. Same in college,
well,
Coach.
It's on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, more
reps. Reps.
More minutes you have in front of a mic, the more you understand the business and what you have to do to prep. And it's the same, in any business, but in the NBA, you have to play and you have to have a sixth sense built with your teammates to take it to the next level. Why do you win a championship like OKC? Well, they're young, but they've been together now.
Well, and you saw the teams that rolled through here that were winning 17 games.
It's unbelievable.
With Pokachevsky starting at the 5.
Yeah.
Who's not even in the league anymore.
No.
Right? But we watched all that.
Yeah, we watched it. And so did the fans. And these last 3 years have been a process. The big jump happened around All-Star break, and then Triple J comes in. Conchar, I thought, was a nice addition just because of his defense that the Jazz are looking for. Someone to put a hand in a passing lane, someone to deflect, someone to steal, someone to block. I mean, those are what makes a Lugan Dort so important for OKC. I mean, is he his household name? No. But he's one of those guys that starts that, actually causes havoc on the floor. And the Jazz are looking for those type of players to be dedicated, to be a defensive-minded player. Can he play two ways? Absolutely. Will Hardy be really happy if you can go play offense and bust your tail and get back on the defensive side. But, I'm impressed that the Jazz fan base stayed with the Jazz. The Delta Center was continued to be sold out or nearly 95% capacity. That includes Upper Bowl, by the way. But they're in. They wanted to see the process, and they grew and saw the Bryce Senzabahs, the Filipowskis, the Isaiah Colliers take steps. Incremental, frustrating at times, absolutely. But, you saw the progress, especially in the second half of the season.
Okay, so they have the number 2 pick here, and Timmy already alluded to it. There's 4 guys, and it feels like it's really kind of 2 guys. It's AJ or it's Darren Peterson. From your vantage point, because you watch this team as close as anybody, because you're calling these games, what do the Jazz need most in terms of, is there a skill set they need most on this roster from your vantage point with this pick?
It's a good question. The development of Keontae has kind of erased some thought of guards.
Yeah.
But you have Collier, who I thought made other leaps as well. Those two give the Jazz and Will Hardy different combinations. One, Key can play off ball, while Isaiah, with his speed, can push tempo, right? So then Key can flip back to the one, and he can play alongside Ace or however. Will Hardy, what he has this year is multiple combinations that he's never had before.
True.
Right? So he can go big, he can go small. He can go slow half-court set. He can go blast it down the floor. He can play
what a
zone.
Luxury. Finally.
This is going to be year 5. And so you think finally he can show off his coaching skill set, and hopefully the players are better overall defensively, and they connect. And that's the biggest key for any coach, is to have a team that's connected and understands the goals and put their egos aside. That's tough to do in the world we're living today. But to get back to your question, Darren Peterson is unbelievably talented at a 6'5" guard. And AJ, we all know. If you've watched BYU, you know what he's about, and the dedication that the Jazz, have had with him and Provo. I'd say Caleb Wilson from North Carolina is a semi-outlier, but a talented player at 6'10", and gets high accolades for playing both ends of the floor. And then you got the booze, We know what
no slouch. He was player of the year.
Yeah, you know what Carlos is all about. And his sons are kind of the chip off the old block. But still, I think it comes down to letting Austin and Danny and Ryan and Justin kind of let things settle and see where some of the talk, because there's all sorts of stuff out there. The noise is loud right now.
Oh, yeah.
On everyone's an expert. No, I'm not in that pay grade. So I just sit back and, you can think like any fan, like, hey, man, that would be interesting. Wow, AJ, wow. What? I tell you what, that would be an awesome, and you stack your bench even more with that move, whether he's a starter or starts a career, off the bench with a Senzabaugh or a Filipowski. So there's so many options there, but AJ is most known locally. Peterson's, kind of getting the bad rap. And you have to investigate that.
Oh, man, like to the core.
You have to, because it's such a huge investment for the next 10 or 12 years. Because, look, this isn't just a 3-year window. Ryan made a bit very clear that the window, much like Golden State, much where Oklahoma City is right now, much where San Antonio is that you have to have an 8 to 10-year window of competition where you are a legit player in the West or the East. Detroit's trying to be that as well, right?
Just
Boston,
hold on to the lead at the end, though.
Right.
Ooh.
Well,
yeah. Boston was there, but then the injury came. Yeah. And so, now it's a little shaken. But do they recover? And they have the talent if Tatum and Jaylen Brown can, find it back together. But I think it's basketball. I tell you, the biggest news was always about tanking around the league. I hope that that for the Jazz, this takes care of it for what went down.
Yeah.
Other teams have been doing it for years, and you just wish that for the fan base, it's great just to see if they can just come to a game and get their money's worth and be entertained around the league. Look, there's a lot of empty arenas, not empty, half, and it's because on a given night, there's teams that just, don't put forth, the effort that needs to be out there because the ticket prices are what they are. And you come and you want a hot dog and a beer or a DC, if in Timmy's case, Diet Coke.
I'd do all three.
Okay.
Hot dog, beer, and chase it with a Diet Coke.
First quarter, second quarter, third, then just before they shut the door.
They cut it off, and Timmy's like, okay,
no more beer sales.
No more. Yeah, but I think it's just fascinating time because it's, especially for the Jazz. We all remember 97, 98 in the Stock Malone era, Hotz and Jerry and Larry. And now it's the clock continues to tick, tick, tick. And is this the new beginning of a new, kind of a uptick, a big uptick under Ryan and Ashley? And Delta Center's got the facelift. I love to say, the place is still there, the Delta Center, which is what it was originally. And hopefully new memories are going to be made quickly.
I know you spend a ton of time with Will Hardy. You interview him every game.
Yep.
before the game, and there's always the time because I see it on the television while
they're
waiting to get stuff ready.
Yeah.
So I see the behind the scenes, but you guys seem to have a great relationship. Just speak to, and I want to preface this by saying, the Dagnalt at Oklahoma City, he eclipsed 500 as a coach during last year's Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So it took that long, took a couple of years for him to build up wins. I see the same thing happening with Will. Will is a guy I am sold on. But just give us some thoughts about hanging around Will and what you see from Will.
Wicked sense of humor, kind of dry at times, but still comes over and just says some things before we hit, and we just go.
All I see is the reaction, so I do see laughs and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, and an NBA coach, I mean, it's 24/7. And there's very little downtime, but I think you have to appreciate the fact that he can come in and sit down, and he's always talked openly and honestly. I think he was great this year. He knew, that we were struggling just to find storylines, and we had to talk about 10-day guys at times, and Conchar, and what sometimes we even went with what the bench or what the guys on the bench were doing, and it was difficult. It's been a challenge for him, but I think he's kept the communication lines really open. What I see is that he knows his players. They are bought in. It's like he always says, it's not my team, it's our team. And, in a way, he comes from the Popovich coaching tree, and Pop was a tough nut, as we all know. And I think he learned some of that, but Will has his own coaching style. So you mix that in with a year in Boston, and you come to Salt Lake, and you get the drift of what the Jazz need to do. They made huge changes. Quinn Snyder had his run. Rudy and Donovan. Danny decides to rebuild, and this is the process. And he's all in. And now you hopefully reap the reward of success. I think people still want to see what kind of defense that the team can deliver, because really you look at the two past champions in Boston and OKC. I mean, they played both ends of the floor, and OKC was the best team I saw this year. Relentless. I mean, relentless on both ends. And if they win another championship, which I think they most likely will unless injury comes, OKC is the best team I saw.
All right, Bowler. So, PK and his penchant for coming up with nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a new one I need to run by you next.
Okay.
I'm very interested to hear your take on this, because he brought it. Literally, we found out this morning what it is.
Oh,
so
boy.
We'll get to that next. More in a moment. Scotty G and the coach, Jake Hatch, sitting in alongside Timmy. More in a moment with Bowler right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to Scotty G and the coach here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Hatch sitting in for Scotty G. All right, Tim, I got to ask you this question, because I listen to you jam and riff all the time.
Yes, you do. You're one of my on there more than most.
Because you're awesome. Just be very clear.
So if you don't know, I have an Instagram. I play at night. I just go in there and I'll turn on live. It's kind of how I
get a call once in a while.
Oh yeah, he'll call you sometimes too.
Yeah.
I just pop in. I'm usually just bebopping around the house. I'll just listen to him jam and whatnot. I got to ask you, where does Led Zeppelin, where they line up in the all-time?
One.
Oh, they're number one. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your where you got them?
Well, I mean, Led is top 3 for me,
Okay.
but I'm a little older, so I started with Foghat.
Okay.
Okay, Fool for the City.
Yeah.
Fool for the City. I mean, and I tell you, and Timmy knows this. I was so not impressed, but I was just like in awe of Eddie Van Halen.
Okay, so
in awe.
DJ likes to make fun of me all the time because I have a very old school music preference, and that's
because you grew up
80s.
with like you listened to your dad's stuff.
Exactly.
It's because you were bebopping around.
Bebopping around, yes. My dad thinks Eddie Van Halen is like the guy.
He is the guy.
And so my dad played in 3 bands growing up in high school. If you met my dad today versus my dad from high school, it'd be 2 very different people. It's a very story time.
I've actually turned into the guy back. I went 17 through life, then I'm back to 17.
You're back to 17, okay. But Van Halen is his number one, and that's, trust me, my mom forever rues the day my dad gave me and my brother, just younger than me, the Van Halen's Greatest Hits, the original Greatest Hits CD. We played that CD so much at the Hatch household that she ended up breaking it. I'm pretty certain.
Word out.
Yeah.
You got to see him. You got to see Van Halen live.
No.
Oh man.
You never saw him live?
No.
I saw
did
them.
not.
I saw all iterations. I saw David. I saw
Sammy.
Okay.
Which one did you like best?
And Hagar, as they say.
Well, it's hard not to. I identify with Sammy more.
Okay.
I'm more of a laid back, grow your hair back, everybody do your thing, just, it's all cool, as opposed to a guy preening. I'm not a preener. You know what I mean? The way David preens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just all kind of style, but I think in terms of vocals, Sammy's a better vocalist. But I think Van Halen made more magic music with David.
Yeah, so the whole premise of this is, I think my dad, if I were to ask him, I think he'd say, well, Van Halen 1, I think he'd have Led Zeppelin 2. They were like the 2 bands that we listened to most with my pops when we were driving around.
Yeah.
And DJ, you can ask him about this if you ever get a chance to talk to David. Just ask him, like, is Jake's music preference just much older than he actually is? And he'll say, absolutely.
I actually take that as a compliment.
I do. And
I look at people listening to music today and like, what? You need to be educated.
It's classic rock.
Yeah. I've got younger kids. My oldest is 9. And my daughter, she's tried to drag me back into the top 40 mix, and I'm like, I don't like any of this.
No, it is no good. What is the best show you've been to, Bo?
Oh, man.
Because you were a concert goer at some point.
Big time. Yeah,
Was it Foghat?
Well, that's the first.
You saw them
I had to talk
first?
my folks in. I had going to meet a couple of high school buddies, and I talked my dad into dropping me off, and I said, I'll find my way home. And we got home, but I thought, wow.
It was about a week later?
Yeah, a week later.
Yeah.
Well, I was just walking down the road, and somebody picked me up and said, I'll take you home. No, I'm kidding. But it was that to me was like the lights, the show, and that's the other part of the music is the show within the show.
Correct.
And you go, wow, man, this is a long time ago, but they still put on a heck of a show.
I was hoping you'd say the Party Hounds was your favorite concert.
Party Hounds. Well, that was a good one down in Provo, pal.
Yes.
You were rocking.
I rocked. You rocked.
I watched you.
I'll tell you.
Great time, man.
Yeah,
What
that was so fun.
I got to get you a T-shirt. So
Party
you can
Hound
rap.
T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do it. I saw Elton John.
I saw Elton
on
John.
his farewell.
He's great.
Yeah, that was good. I saw Paul McCartney
At the
Delta Center.
Delta Center.
Yeah.
I was at that concert, actually.
I saw Joan Jett in Vegas. I saw Def
I
Leppard.
hate myself for loving you.
Def Leppard
Def
twice.
Leppard. Okay.
That's a high-level band, man.
I was ripped on for liking them by Lloyd and Scott this week.
Why?
Wow.
They don't like them.
Wow. Lloyd.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I didn't quite catch it. Who was that again?
You're not a Def Leppard fan? Is that what we're getting out of this?
That was more Scotty. That was more Scotty.
I was abused for it.
You're getting dunked on by both of
I
them.
keep a list here of things I got to
Just a little bit.
rectify. And
Yeah. He's got this red pen, Lloyd, and he's writing down your name.
Scotty
with
might
an
have
X,
made
with
a
a
joke
slash.
about
Def Leppard. Yeah, there you go.
Scotty might have made a joke about a missing
they
arm,
did, and I'm not
possibly.
going to repeat it.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't even
I'll
be
tell him
repeated.
off air. Yeah.
All right, Bowler. So, more story time real quick. Growing up, you were the sound of my sports highlights growing up because you worked for KSL TV at the time.
13 years.
My parents were KSL 5 devotees. Like, that was their channel. So you were the soundtrack to my childhood of catching up on all the sports stuff. I was read the sports page and then hear Bowler break it down.
We
on
had a great
TV.
time.
Absolutely.
Had a great time.
So my son, who is becoming a sports nut in his own right, he's 7. He only knows you as the voice of the Utah Jazz because Dad's always he knows when the Jazz are on, I'm watching the games. And when I told him that you were coming out today, he said, will you tell Mr. Bowler I appreciate what he does?
That's kind.
So,
No, that's nice.
So Colton wanted to pass that along.
It's better what I hear on X sometimes.
Hey, I've got to tell you this, though. You got to everybody's got an opinion.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I
And-
mean, our teacher, my professor in college said, look, if someone doesn't say hello or talk about you, then you're out of the business anyway. And it's kind of, it's even more so now with social media.
Yes.
And I think that's going back to the Jazz. I mean, part of that is leave the phone down.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time that they couldn't even, you take a break or, a little water, sit down. First thing they do is grab a phone.
Well, ask Kevin Durant about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just be careful what you don't want to disparage your teammates like KD.
Yeah, but I think that kind of goes. You mentioned it before the break. You talked about how a guy like Will Hardy's kind of, and I think he's finally got like that full deck of cards, to use the expression now, with the roster that it looks like it's going to have this coming season. I think he's been very good about, as you mentioned, being very open with his players.
Right.
I think he understands the challenges they're going through because they are social media obsessed. They're obsessed with their image in the greater public. And I think he navigates it in a way, to your point, where he's trying to encourage them, hey, you don't always need to have your nose buried in that phone.
No.
Let's get out there and work.
It's about mental health.
Yeah.
And I think the league, along with the Jazz, all now understand that more than ever. It wasn't an issue during the Sloan era, right? It wasn't an issue for John or Carl.
Yeah.
I doubt John would even pick up a phone anyway today if he was, if it was a John Stockton of 2020. But it's a stressor that you don't need, but also human nature brings you back to it because you want to know what people think, and you like the accolades, but then also you have to live with the negative comments that come with it as well. Everyone's an expert. And the other part of it for me is that many hide behind a name that we'll never know.
Correct.
Who they are, but they know you. So you become an easier target. But that's part of the business. And, I get it. I love what I do, and I love meeting fans at the arena. Big T could run for governor in my book and probably just be
of any state, it seems.
Yeah.
Like he just is revered.
He's amazing. Everywhere we go, it's a funny story. He won't mind me telling this, but he's been mistaken for James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who else? Who's no longer with us? It was pretty funny. The guy wanted his autograph. Oh, it's Wilt Chamberlain.
No.
And the kid goes, "You're Wilt. Can I have your?" He goes, "Kid, do you know that he's dead?" It was great.
You got to stop asking for that.
You
one.
can't ask that.
There's not an authentic one out there.
You can't ask that. But no, T's been through it all. Yeah. And I tell you, the time with Jimmy Valvano at North Carolina State, you don't think you lived a life there? Wow. And the Cinderella of college basketball in '83. And then you become a 7 pick for the Jazz. And he's part of, the foundation of who the Jazz are today.
Correct.
They built the foundation brick by brick. Mark Eaton, Big T, Ricky Green, then comes Stockton, then comes Malone. Holy cow. And now you have to hope that these
and the
picks,
mayor, Ostertag.
And Ostertag.
Yeah, the mayor. Yeah,
he is now the true mayor.
Yeah, he is the mayor. Mayor Greg Ostertag.
Yeah.
How about that?
I texted him, and I said, I said, congrats. He said, thanks, Bowler. I said, you come out for a visit? He goes, when they start to win again. I thought it's got to be this year, pal.
I was going to say, you're going to see it next season then.
You need to use your clout to get us a trip out there. You and I go do a little thing. His restaurant and bar is so cool. And my parents have a lake house right there, so we go out on the lake. My parents live in that town. He's the mayor of my parents'
Let's
place.
go. And doesn't he have a farm of llamas?
Oh, yeah, he's got llamas.
Exotic animals it's so Ostertag.
Yes.
But, I talked to him for a minute, and the one thing I will say, like, I got there early to the restaurant. I wanted some breakfast, and it was his wife that was working at the time. And I said, is Greg in today? He's like, how do you know Greg? I said, I'm from Utah. I just wanted to say, hey. And he came rolling in, talking to late, about 45 minutes after she said he'd be there. And I was just finishing up my meal. But he seemed so happy and comfortable. And that's what you want for dudes, man.
Yeah.
Because he gave a ton, and he's in the spotlight, but he's living his best life right now.
I've really got to know Tag. I like him. He's a 7-footer. He's an emotional guy. He does care. I think he's been really rough on himself. Post-career that he wishes he could have done more. His relationship with Sloan was I guess well documented. They had their issues, but still a lot of love and respect for both. Yeah,
absolutely great. But you talked about it. I mean, thorough talking about Thurl being a hallmark of that, getting the Jazz to a winning situation. He missed 3 games in his first 9 years.
It's a different era. Like
that's your partner right there, and you can count on him.
And PK likes to talk about the fact that he played 84 games in an 82 schedule one year. The trade to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's right.
The way the schedule played out, he played 84 games in an 82 season.
Yeah,
82 game season.
How often does that show up in a stat? He would be my best thing about Thurl is he's a listener, and he is just incredibly gifted around people. Incredibly gifted. He listens. He listens.
I'm so glad that he ended up here because he has been massive for this community, and the Jazz are in the midst of another rise. In fact, the Jaren Jackson trade it kind of gave me the chills because it felt a little Hornacek to me.
It did.
Kind of giving us another veteran piece around these.
Did it not? Did you guys both feel, though, and the whole city just kind of went,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was an airlift, like, wow. You know what? Because it echoes back to what Austin said about we're going to go big game hunting. Well, when? Well,
and everybody jumped him because, Drew Eubanks is your –
yeah.
Well, if there's nothing out in the past, if there's nothing out in the hills to shoot, you don't waste a bullet.
Yeah. Yeah, he waited and turned the deal. I tell you, Memphis is retooling. Triple J seems to be absolutely thrilled to be here, as does Nurk. What they do, I don't know. But, K-Love, I think he'd be a hell of a coach. If he wants to be.
I'd love to see him back just in a support role, like as a player. He was, and when he played, he was drilling threes like he was in his prime.
It's always, as T said, muscle memory, and it's true. I mean, he had the ball in hand, knew where he wanted to be on the 3-spot wing, knocked it down, could still fight and rebound, kept himself in great shape mentally. I mean, he's solid, and Nurk found himself on a rebirth here. My gosh,
triple-double king, Jake.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I think Kevin Love alone, for what he did as a mentor for Keontae George, is worth bringing him back for.
It's a great point.
Because, as I understand it, was the locker right next to Keontae, and he became a sounding board for him. Because Kevin talked about the fact that when he was early on in his career, he was in some of these franchises, like, I didn't have that support. I want to be that for these guys.
Most of that era lived on their own.
Yeah.
They were swimming with barely their head above water. Things have changed. And to have that veteran or veterans who come in and help a young guy or a young group of guys take it to the next level, I tell you, it's been a marvelous thing and the Jazz have had Kelly Olynyk. Saw him play the other night.
Unbelievable teammate.
KO is unreal.
I love that dude.
And hated to see him go.
Oh, I hated playing against him, too, when I was coaching against him.
He's a guy that you want on your team, but you hate going against him.
Yeah. Just solid, savvy, a little slow, but played at his own pace and could knock down a shot. But the Jazz have had some multiple vets come in and help this process. And I think all of them have to be kind of tip of the hat because they all were there at a Pacific time to just let the Jazz jump to the next level. Small increments, yes, but now you see the growth. And that's what excites me is to see a Sensabaugh who just finished his 4th year actually understand he can do more than shoot threes. He's got a 6'6 frame, 6'5 frame, 225. He understands that he can put the ball on the floor and he can punish a defender and drive and score. He can rebound. And he's got a little bit of a tough guy attitude now. And, what was Will looking for? He wanted alpha. He wanted some alpha males. And I think the Jazz, when you're 19, I don't know if it's a special person who says, I can just come in here and take this type of responsibility. You have to grow into it a little bit, and I see a couple Jazz guys growing into that role.
But there's also stuff they got there's just know-how stuff in the NBA and the rigor. Like, nobody understands it. You can sit and say 82 games all you want until, like you said, I found out what that means about 6 years ago. It's 82 nights.
Yeah,
and if
and
you're
the
traveling,
travel.
It's how these guys do it. It isn't a marathon.
Yeah,
it is a major endurance event.
And Jake, the Jazz like to jump on a flight and get out of town.
Yes.
And so when we do, maybe you have a full day off, or on a back-to-back, you have no other choice. But you roll in at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
And then you're waiting for your bags, and then you haul that in, and you wait in line to hit the elevator. And
rinse, repeat.
Rinse.
And forget what hotel number.
Oh,
you got to look at your card.
You do all the time. One night you're 908, the next night you're 809.
But how many
It's
times?
Like, what
How many times on a back-to-back have you gone to the next hotel and gone to the wrong room?
Oh,
number?
multiple
Yeah,
times.
me too.
I put
Okay,
my
at
card
least
up
I'm
there
not
and it's
alone.
red, and I panic like, oh,
What?
wow, I'm on the wrong floor. How did this happen?
Well, I totally believe this happens for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's par for the course. It's just what it is. Because
They call it living in the tube, and the tube is the plane, the bus,
And your season feels like you're
the
spinning.
hotel, the arena.
Yeah.
And
Tube.
you just said it, rinse and repeat. It's a crazy world. I wish some fans, could live it with us. And I've run across people who said, "Man, I'd love to go." And I said, "Well, I tell you what,
You make it about 3 times.
you'll love it for a week.
Rest up, and then you want to go home." I tell you, when we're in our 9 or 10 day trip,
Forget it.
man, it's like, when are we getting back home? Yeah.
All right, we will have more in a moment with Bowler. Do want to remind you guys, we are live today at Tim Dolly Mazda here, 10785 South Automall Drive in Sandy. Their Memorial Day sales start this weekend, so if you want to get a jump on the holiday weekend, please do that. Rates as low as 0%, up to $7,000 off any plug-in hybrid right now. And by the way, if you come in, you buy a car, and you mentioned you heard about us here on the KSL Sports Zone, you will get a $500 gift card to some location like Home Depot, essentially whatever you want. You name where you want it from, they'll take care of you guys. They are looking for trades. Auction prices are rising. They want to make sure that they take care of you that way. And they also have a 99% approval process. So incredible deals. Jake and the guys down here, absolutely awesome. Stop on by. More with Bowler. Final hour of the program gets underway next right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.